9,710 pounds, 321 triple slide Chaparral coming back to us here at Haylett RV of Coldwater, Michigan. It's had several previous owners, at least 2, but there's no Carfax for camping, which is why I do CSI for camping here at Haylett RV. We sold this to some folks a couple years ago. They used it 5 months a year at a seasonal site when they decided to adopt a mobile lifestyle. Overall, it looks alright. It's not perfect. But like if you looked at a car that was this age, it wouldn't be perfect either. So I think that's fair. The fact is, overall, it looks like it's held together pretty nicely. Quick note as we hop inside, one of the things I've always liked about this layout across brands, whoever builds it, is the fact that it's a triple slide fifth wheel with opposing living super slides that, because it doesn't have an island but still has plenty of kitchen counter space, remains fully travel accessible in terms of like getting to the kitchen, getting to your seating. If you do need to make a travel stop and you don't want to monkey with the slides, this is one of the few fifth wheels that offers that opportunity. And opened up here, overall, it looks alright. It needs a cleaning. It definitely could use an interior, exterior, kind of just surface dusting, if you will. But overall, it looks okay. So one of the big questions I always try to answer on something like this is, why is it here? And basically, previous owners bought this from us, I don't know, a couple years ago. It wasn't that long ago, I don't think. Maybe it was. Man, time flies in this business. It was a couple years ago. I remember this fifth wheel. Anyway, they had it at a seasonal site. They used it for 5 months out of the year and decided, this is nice, but we want to change the scenery. And they swapped it out for, I think, a small 23-foot Cherokee camper here at Haylett RV so they could enjoy a more mobile RVing lifestyle, because they didn't have a big giant tow vehicle, nor did they have interest in getting one. So this floor plan, although a little bit older in the model year, I think is still a very good current floor plan, because really it's pretty darn similar to what you see today. In today's market, you find a lot of rear sofas with a side theater seat, but here you see the sofas in the slide, as is a little more traditional with a pair of recliners in the back. Normally, the original factory recliners would have been intended to be turned when the slides were closed. You can leave that one in place. That's an aftermarket Euro recliner. You need to kind of scoot that one forward when the slide's closed, as you saw. One more neat thing, I was doing some looking and checking, and I discovered you don't need to put that extra chair in the middle here. If you turn this one chair and you snug it right up to that wall, it does clear the slide, so you're not going to have any collision issues. And this chair is obviously far behind the slide out. So that is another one of those handy things in terms of travel functionality when you don't have to wrestle the flippin' furniture. Again, that's not the original factory furniture, but it works just fine. But you have just a plethora of windows surrounding this, as well as note the fact that all of our windows are over here on the camp side. Now, one of the things I think people appreciate about our Haylett RV videos is the fact that if we see something, we say something. An easy thing for me right now would be to just pan over the fact that one of those window shades was down and all the rest of them were up. But I'm not going to just ignore this. That string on that side got popped and just needs restrung, if you care. A lot of people just leave the shades down, so a lot of people don't care. Keep in mind, almost anything this RV needs, arguably, or you would potentially like done to it, we can do here at Haylett RV, but then I have to compensate people for their time. And a lot of times when people are shopping used RVs, it's because they're looking for the deal. They want that good budget tag on something. So if there's little things like this that maybe a person could tackle at home, maybe with the assistance of a little YouTube video guide through, imagine that, a video on YouTube, am I right? But the fact is, these are often little things that people can take care of themselves. Now, one more thing that you can't readily see is right here behind the chair, and keep in mind, we're even willing to move furniture for you to see stuff. Back here behind this chair, I spotted a little discolored area on the carpentry. But it's absolutely nothing. I can only guess that one of the windows was left open once and it rained a little bit, because the flooring is still completely solid. One of the original chairs must have been over here and cockeyed a little bit when someone tried to open or close the slide, because I saw that wall panel there was damaged. But again, this is not water damaged. It's still solid paneling. So it doesn't appear that there's any sort of leak problems here. Maybe there was a very brief one, but someone obviously in that rear corner took care of it and they didn't leave it there to literally rot. Now that's a conventional inner spring hide-a-bed over there. You just don't see a lot of those anymore. And the RV is old enough, not only do you have slide side breeze windows, you know, for your seating, both the sofa and the recliners, but you've even got tilt-open triple jalousie windows here for rainy day airflow. Pretty cool. All of our windows have day-night shades, and again, tons of windows, tons of light and airflow. And a conventional classic entertainment center over here, a entertainment kitchen slide, which is something I think actually creates some very cool floor plans that you just don't see a lot of anymore, because it still gives you, you know, good kitchen storage prep space, but with no island. Holy crap, Batman, does this thing feel absolutely enormous. Guaranteed to get your Bachman Turner into overdrive. I like the big double sink here. The left sink is a normal size sink. The right sink is an oversized, today we call it kind of like a farm sink. But I like how they give you both here. It's extremely large. And you got your handy little bread box storage there. I like that little wooden garage door style thing. Not to mention, now you might need a two-step to get to some of this upper storage. But the fact is, they didn't waste the opportunity for storage. In classic design, you have overhead storage through the entirety of the slide out. If you like host a poll, like, hey, should manufacturers continue to put cabinets and overheads of slides, or should they give you bigger windows? It's overwhelming how like 95% of people say, no, keep those cabinets, give me that storage. But buying patterns don't support that. A lot of people who are buying RVs prefer the bigger windows. It's just weird. Anyway, I got a feeling somebody didn't like the stairs, maybe had hitch in their giddy up, because they added this real heavy duty handle here so they could get up and down. And this is a brand new mattress swapped in from the Cherokee camper that the folks bought. So you're not inheriting someone else's bed. Maybe you still choose to replace it, but the fact is no one else has ever slept on this mattress. And windows all around this thing right here is a nice touch. A lot of times in today's market you get windows on the slide sides, but not the headboard. And if you notice that gap on each side of the bed, this is king capable. So if you are so inclined, you could swap a king into it. This was made before a lot of fifth wheels were washer dryer ready, and this is no exception. This one does not have that feature on it. But I mean, otherwise, it's actually, like I said, aged remarkably well. And I love that big window right there directly across from the bed. That'll get you some sweet airflow. Tiny little TV cabinet up there. Isn't that little thing cute? I don't even know if you'd get a tiny flat screen to fit up in that thing now. Although it probably wouldn't be hard to modify anything in here, or just simply pedestal mount a TV directly across from the bed, should you choose to do that. Now, this technically has a bed bath or a split bath open design, but you see that you do have a sliding accordion wall there that can close across so that you have a wall between the bath and the bed areas. Now, the other thing this provides for us is a nice large open bathroom feeling that gives us plenty of floor space to get dressed. Also, me walking around up here, just to give you a point of reference, I'm 6'3"-ish. What are we, about 6.5 foot tall upper deck here? I'm shooting from the hip on that, but that should be pretty close to hitting the mark. And I've seen a lot of these little closet style bathrooms. However, I like the extra storage that they did over here. That's a nice little touch. But doing a great job of storage, that's really just kind of Coachmen 101. Always has been, probably always will be. It's why we like being a Coachmen dealer today. As I mentioned previously, outside could use a quick hose bath, a little sponge bath, if you will. You know, it could use a little touch up, no big deal. But this has a massive pass through, and it's not just a ridiculously large side to side pass through. It's even front to back to side. I mean, it's massive. You could always drop that cargo netting if you wanted to, but man, this is enormous. If you're going to be at a seasonal site, you want that extra outdoor storage, you got plenty of room for it. Or if you're going to be towing and you're going to be just full time in it with a ton of stuff in there, if that's the adventure you want to take on, you can see that you got plenty of room for it. The slide awnings you can see have been applied to this. I don't know how long ago. They're a little stained up from sitting seasonally and a little bit of rainwater being on them, but they're there. I'm not seeing daylight showing through them. They don't look like they've been rat-a-tat-tatted to death from the wind buffeting or anything like that. Overall, looks pretty good. Like I said, with, you know, a couple hours of sweat equity, they just shine up pretty nice. Now, it does have an enclosed underbelly. It's a little gappy. I'm sure it's probably a heated belly. I've not been a dealer of this product when it was brand new, so I don't know the specificity of that in that detail. But for general, like if it, I'll say it's probably an easy extended season coach. So what I mean by that is if it's going to dip down below 0, then come back tomorrow. There's no reason this thing shouldn't take care of you. If it's going to hard permafreeze, you're probably going to want to move or at least get it winterized. The tires look all right. I don't see any problems there. The ladder doesn't look like they backed it or smashed it into anything. But I want to focus in on this corner here real quick, because that was that area where there's a little bit of that stained carpeting. And looking through here, I think I identified where it probably originally came from. You can see how they sealed all around this window here. So it is possible that maybe just over time something got a little weak there, and when it started weeping, you saw that little bit of staining on the carpet. But once again, everything is still solid. There's no mold spores. There's none of that bumpy braille bumps on there. So it does look like whatever happened, they addressed very quickly. And overall, given the age of the RV, and that's an important thing to remember, we have to look at this through the lens of time. It's not brand new. It's just new to you. The roof looks okay. It looks appropriate for something of this age. I can see that it has been at least seasonally cleaned and conditioned. Something snagged the roof line over here, but they put some slide seam tape all over the place, and that looks like it's been there for a while, so that ain't recent. And that stuff, like you're thinking, they just put tape on the roof? If you don't know what slide seam tape is, it's like, I swear it's like there's rubber cement on the bottom of that stuff. Once you put it down, you better expect it to be there for the rest of your life, because it ain't coming up. That stuff does not come up easy. All these sealants that I see look very viable. A couple spots, like right here around the skylight, it's just beginning to age a little bit, but absolutely nothing that concerns me. So at worst, right now, today, this RV needs nothing, and it probably doesn't need anything for a little while. Here in the Midwest, you could probably get along a couple years with it just like it is right now. But if you really wanted to do the job, there's a couple areas where maybe you touch up a little non-sag right there, maybe do a couple little droplets or a small bead of self-leveling sealant along the front term strip, and you're going to be good to go. Also, I'm walking all over this thing, and never have I yet detected anything in the way of like a crispity, crunchity, failing OSB roof below me. It's solid. So, I mean, it's seen some rounds. It's definitely seen some use. But anybody and everybody who's owned this has, generally speaking, done a good job of taking care of it, although it's obviously showing some signs of use. But again, like, that's my little, I call that my Korean Mini Cooper over there, the hamster car. That thing ain't perfect. It's a 2013. It's okay, but there's a couple things, like my cigarette lighter ain't working. Do they call that a cigarette lighter anymore? Like my power windows in the back aren't working. My point is not to sell my car, but because it's not for sale. But to reference the fact that this RV's fine for its age. It's not flawless, but it's nothing to be ashamed of either. So this is lot number 3 at Haylett RV, and this is about to get very full very quickly over here. So whether you need hitching, pieces, parts, trades, finance, truck and trailer package deals, RV delivery, and everything between, we do it all. Even here at lot 3, Haylett RV. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.